Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Thursday. Yes, I'm doing a stream on a Thursday night, and I will be back here tomorrow night for my normal Friday stream. But tonight's going to be really fun because I have my friend Cody. He's the marketing director at Taurus, executive level position. So we're going to talk all about Taurus. And this gives you guys a chance right here to chime into the comments. Of course, any super chats, I'll be sure to answer, and I'll try to pick through as best as I can here by myself. But you guys can give him feedback. We're going to try to answer a few questions, and you guys know I'm going to have a ton of fun for the next hour talking about Taurus firearms. So let's bring Cody in here and hang out. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing? Pretty good down there?
Yeah, pretty good, man. I can't complain too much. So just trying to get as much range time as possible, which is tough this time of year, but been trying to hit it though.
Awesome, dude. So all of my viewers already know I've been into Taurus guns like for a while. It's actually been probably the main feature of this channel. And it's just been a thing. It started with the G2C, went into the G3 series, the GX4. Now I'm getting into some of the revolvers, Heritage, Rossi. There's a ton of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I was down at the PSA The Gathering event this March, and I met you down there. We got to hang out for a couple of days. That was cool.
Yeah,
and it was like,
I just started like 3 days before that, so I was fresh on the job then.
I was just gonna say that it was like your second or third day, and I'm like, well, let's do a live stream after you get your feet wet a little bit and get used to everything. So now that you're getting settled in, how's everything going there with Taurus?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been a pretty fun last probably like 6 months or so. Just kind of working behind the scenes, working on a lot of the big picture stuff for Taurus and how we communicate, and then a lot of the product roadmap, product development stuff too. So it's been fun getting everything built up, and I'm super excited for the future. Us marketing people, we operate like a year out from everybody else. Yep. Takes a long time to plan out everything, so it's always a joke around the office with the sales team. Is I'm always the guy's like, I'm working on something really cool, So
I know, man, and these guys can tell you I have to do it with them too. Like with the GX4 XL, I'm like, guys, look, something exciting is going to be coming out from Taurus. I can't talk about it yet, but you guys are really going to like it. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here behind the scenes like, dude, I want to like tell everyone about this, but that's just how it goes, right? Getting new products out and all of that.
It is, and it's hard for us too, because like by the time like we go to launch it, usually I've had my hands on it for so long, it's not even new to me anymore, and so I have to like really build myself back up for the launch whenever we get ready for that launch day, get that excitement, going for everybody else for their first time ever seeing it.
And that's what I do. So it's genuine for my viewers. I always do an initial unboxing and review, and I have to open it up with the FFL to make sure the serial numbers match with the records. I shot it, I hide it and don't look at it. And then I get the video filmed like right before the launch. That's just my strategy. So I can stay excited like it's brand new,
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to talk about a few specific guns and stuff in just a couple minutes, because that's the fun part. But I'm kind of excited for the same reasons you are. Taurus, they've been around forever. Yeah. I've been into guns since 94, okay? First gun was an SKS. I was mainly into like SKSs and AKs because I was 15 years old at the time. Couldn't afford much. That was the cheap stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now, as times evolved, I started getting into handguns. My first handgun was a Ruger.
Yep.
And as the years went on, I had it in my head because I had heard from just people around the gun shop around town that Taurus was a junk pistol. So I avoided them for a long period of time, right?
Yep.
I bought the G2C, and it was literally, and a lot of my viewers know this because you guys have been watching a long time. I said, new warranty, because you guys had just added the lifetime warranty back, and is it worth the hype? And I thought to myself, these big YouTubers, because people have a misconception about a lot of YouTubers. There's a big variety, but when you first get started, you think these guys are all just lying and they're getting paid to lie. And you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So now he's one of my good friends, but like Such had put out a video on the G2C and he's like, dude, it's awesome. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. So I bought one expecting it to be junk, but it wasn't junk. And I like totally loved it. And things have just, for me, been progressing there. So that's when I got in with the G2C. I've literally loved every Taurus gun I've bought since. And I've just noticed, like, it's literally just in the last 3 years, and just even very recently, like, you guys are like all about just changing and coming up with all kinds of new strategies. Do you want to talk about like the kind of the direction you guys have been moving in lately?
Yeah, and it's been a fun, whenever I decided to come on board, and those that know, Brett Voorhees is the CEO of the company, and me and him have been very good friends, and we've worked together in the past, and we always stayed in contact, and that was what kind of my connection over here to Taurus and coming on board, and that was a battle that I had to figure out. You had the same. You hear these kind of misconceptions out there about Taurus and where they are, and I think a lot of that was earned over the years, with the poor customer service and stuff like that. And luckily, I talked to Brett a lot whenever he left and joined up with Taurus and what he was working on with customer service and stuff, and saw those changes over the couple of years and what they're doing on that side. And so, I felt comfortable coming in. And so whenever I saw that and saw the customer service was fixed, my next step was really just looking at like the gun and is the performance there. And if anybody that knows me, I shoot a lot and I train a lot, and it's defensive shooting and also competitive. I started off as a competitive shooter and traveled around the entire United States shooting competitions. And then over the last few years, I've been very heavily involved on the law enforcement sector with other companies in the past. So I was, kind of in that realm, and I have a set of standards that I hold myself to, which is a set of 4 drills, and they all require sub-second draws from concealment and very, very hard to get standards. And I took the Taurus. I went and bought a Taurus G3 right off the shelf, slapped a red dot on it, and went out. And within a couple of hours, I was able to hit my standards. And I was like, all right, so there's something here with that. 2, I noticed every one of my neighbors that lived around me all shot Tauruses. And
yes,
so I saw the capabilities of what was there. I think there was some minor tweaking that I thought could really up it. But I just got back from Brazil too, about a month ago or so. We went down there and went through the manufacturing facilities and went over the product development plans and things like that. And one of the most impressive things, and why I was like a kid in a candy store coming over here, was the manufacturing capabilities that Taurus owns. There's not many. There's not really any companies out there that have the full in-house capabilities like Taurus has. So, and my thoughts and Brett's thoughts and everybody at Taurus is like, if we can insert at the beginning of product development shooters who understand the U.S. market and get out there and actually shoot and understand that side of it, if you insert that in at the beginning and have those manufacturing capabilities, you come out with still Taurus price point guns, but very high performance, and you're getting that package together, which nobody can do really. And that's what I think you see with the GX4 and the TX22 and stuff like that, where they're outperforming the competition at a way significant price point, so that's a lot of the benefits of Taurus and what we want to go and continue being in the future. Is like, we want to cram pack all those performance features that you see on freaking $3,000 guns, and bring it to the masses. And it's something that I've always fought internally, because I would always like bring up, like red dots on pistols and comps on pistols and all this stuff. And, we'd be 3 or 4 years behind. People laugh, but it's because you're sitting in a boardroom with a lot of people that don't actually shoot. And when you're in the community and you're hearing what people want, that's how you can kind of make your products better a lot faster. And so, yeah, it was fun to meet with the engineers. They're all on board. This is one of the key points in Taurus's existence, that I think that everybody's really on the same page and really driving forward to one particular goal, not only in the U.S. but globally. So it's a monster, man. That's starting to really roll.
I'm excited about that, and that's the thing that I've always tried to do. I'll be honest, really, not to help Taurus, but to help my viewers. And if it also helps Taurus, then it's a win-win, right? Mm-hmm. I've always tried, and I read like all of the comments I get, and I have videos. I have over 100 videos in my Taurus playlist. Okay? Yeah. So, and you combine those together, it's millions of views. And I've probably read, if not answered, almost every comment, because I love to talk about and think about these guns too. And that's what I've been doing for a while now, and I'm going to continue to do. I think it's important that you guys are just listening to your customers, listening to the shooters, what they want. I read the comments. When I get a short list, I'll call you guys up or email you and say, hey, this is what the people want. This is what they don't like. And is that going to be one of your focuses now that you're on board, just still keeping in touch with not just the celebrities and all that kind of crap, but like the actual real people in this chat, what they want, right?
Yeah, that's the goal here. And two, like a lot of our personal goals here is like we're Americans. We want to own guns. We want to own a lot of guns, and if you come out with a gun that's $3,000, what are you doing? Like it's you're cutting out a lot of the masses there. When we want to make sure we, like I said, provide all that performance into the Taurus price point, that way the masses can have it. It's there. And that comes from listening and seeing what's happening in the community and what people are asking for. And you're seeing those trends, right now moving forward. So
That's what I wanted to know because, okay, G2C, things change. There's different volatility in the markets. I can't promote any given site, guys, that sells guns. It's YouTube rules. But go check my locals after this. There's a link down there in the description. I'm going to show you guys a huge selection of Taurus stuff that's for sale. Really good prices that'll help you guys out. I just can't promote it here, but when I bought my G2C, it was like $200, $25 rebate. And then just recently I saw sales at awesome places where they were just like, I know this isn't MAP price or MSRP, but people were blowing them out on sale for Labor Day. $250 for a G3, a G3C.
Yep.
That's the sweet spot because there's a lot of guns coming in from Turkey. And I know you guys know that. And they make some good stuff too, but this is a worry a lot of people have. And I know a few guys in the chat are kind of wondering here. Are you guys going to be able to keep making these guns that are good and they're improved, but keep the prices more for the budget-minded people instead of bringing them up to OEM Glock prices? Because a lot of people are worried that's going to happen.
That's something that I think a lot of brands struggle with when they don't understand who they are and what their brand is. And honestly, that's a big reason why I'm here now is for the branding purposes of Taurus. And that's one thing we talk about a lot is who our customer is. And we understand completely who that is and where we want to play in those price points. We want to be the price leader. And we're going to have multiple guns in a lot of different categories. You look at what the G2 and G3C is and G3 family. Yeah, that's going to be the price leader, I think, in that semi-auto category for its performance. But, the guns don't have to be cheap either. You look at a Raging Hunter, that's $1,000 revolver, right?
Yep,
but
yep.
You look at it in its category, and it is the price leader in its category, still delivering more performance than any of the other competitors are. So that's what you'll see our goal is like when we come out and expand our lineups and stuff, we want to make sure that we're bringing, like I said, all that performance at the best price point possible.
Okay, so you guys heard it from him. He's going to try his best. I hope you guys just keep with that because right now we kind of almost have a free lunch. And I know that's impossible to truly achieve that. That's where you guys have to work hard on your end of things. But we're getting I look at, the GX4 even, the G3, the G2C, just all of these guns, these semi-autos. When I hold them, it just fits like a glove. So they're like the most comfortable pistol for me to shoot. They're also super reliable. They're also super cheap. And you guys also have crazy cool options. You guys can go I'll give you a quick thing, guys. I can't say too much here on YouTube because there's stupid rules. Go over to locals. I'm going to leave a post. Just one place that I like to do business with. It's called Grab a Gun. If you go there, they are going to have 100 SKUs of Taurus. You can get the G series in 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors, different slides. It's just really cool how much is out there and available, right?
Yeah. And that's a cool thing about Taurus when I came over is their ability to make special makeups that we call them, different color and machine processes and stuff like that. Their ability to turn those on pretty quick is, a key point there. So
I have some suggestions if you want to take a couple notes and send these over to some people that might be able to do something about it. The G2C, I love it. I'm not getting rid of my G2C. However, I've said this many times on this channel. If you were going to start fresh, I recommend the G3C. It just has a better trigger in it, in my opinion, period. Okay. I think you agree, right? It's updated. Yeah. Okay. You guys have way more cool colors of frames in the G2C on the retail market, but it's not as much in the G3C. So I'd like to see if they can kind of shift some of that cool G2C stuff into the G3C going forward. You know what I'm saying?
And I think you will see that in our push for the G3 and G3 family as a whole. And that was one thing, you know, when we stepped in, was like really looking at the G3 family as a whole and not so much just one particular SKU, you know, of a G3C, because you got G3X and XL also in there, G3 Tactical and all this stuff. So looking at the whole G3 family and then
Yes.
applying and expanding those color lineups and getting the price point correct on that side too. And I think you've just seen the G2C, you know, the G2Cs coming out, and it's hitting a little lower price point right now. So a lot of our partners out there, distributor wise and stuff, they're going to want to do those special makeups with the lowest price point option. So
Sure.
that's why you see some. But yeah, I think we've got a lot of cool G3Cs coming. I have a list of photography to do on a bunch of them. So there are some cool ones coming.
Because I have like my cyan G2C. I love it. I would like a cyan or even a purple G3C eventually, you know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other thing too that you kind of brought up, and I was doing it on this channel way before you guys did. A couple people actually gave me credit. They said, dude, Taurus copied you. And I'm not going to lie. I told them, yes, they did. I wanted to take the credit.
Nice.
But I took a G3, right? Slide on a G3C like a year before you came out with the G3 XL, and I just made my own.
Yeah.
Did YouTube videos on and shot it at the range.
Yeah.
And I knew, and it worked perfect, just like that, right?
Yeah.
So now you guys are moving into, I call it Taurus Legos, because like the AR is the Legos of rifles.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of getting there. You've got the G3, the G3C, the G3X, the G3 XL. If you have all four of those in front of you, you can just sit there and like do stuff and have a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of, you know, a big point of, you know, a family, and talking about it as a G3 family or a GX4 family, and what the modularity is between those two, you know, because we sell a lot of slides on the online store, you know, and we want to make sure, like, if you want to do that, and I'm working on a lot of aftermarket parts with a lot of my partners that I'm very good friends with, to try to get even more options there to customize and make your, you know, your G3 or GX4 or GX22, whatever, you know, more the way you like it. So,
dude, and that's awesome. Like I personally just a couple weeks ago bought one of the G3 copper barrels, which is going to be a cool new look in one of my guns. And then I just bought a DLC barrel to swap over from the stainless silver barrel in one of my G3Cs. And what I'm noticing is pretty cool too, because like I'm my locals community. That's like a censorship free place for all of you guys listening, right? And hopefully you join over there too, and you can go over there and tell me what your account is, and you can post and hang out too if you get a chance. But my viewers that are supporters over there, one of the perks they get is they can post pictures of their guns. And look, guys, Glock's a great pistol. I like Glock. They're fine. I don't like them as much as Taurus, though. I've always said that. It used to be the only thing you saw pictures of was like these Instagram Glocks. Well, now my viewers are showing me like pictures of these really cool Tauruses where they're like, dude, I got the G3 Toro slide and I got the gold PVD barrel and I just put it on my G3C lower. And like people are starting to make it a lot more fun lately, right?
Yeah, that's part of it. I think you see, and this is where we talk about Taurus's customer, and especially over the last couple of years in 2020 and 2021, we had so many new shooters enter into the shooting sports industry and buy their first guns and stuff. And a lot of them went with Taurus, right? And we all go through, I like to say, like the kind of the same process of our gun buying phase. As we start off and then we kind of realize that the customization part is very fun, you know. So after a couple of years, you see people kind of figuring out what their needs are from either, you know, whatever situation they're using that gun for, concealed carry or, you know, home defense or competition, whatever. And they start kind of tinkering with that. So we start to see them kind of make that journey and start doing some more customizations on their guns.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is it better bang when you click it, right? It better shoot. But then, like, assuming you've got that down pat already, why not have it look nice? Like, it's cool just to have stuff that you enjoy. And
it should be yours. And, you know, and that's part of the fun. It's not all, and like I said, I'm heavy into like the defensive training and stuff like that. But man, it's America and guns are fun, right? There's an aspect to that, and I think we should own up to that a lot of times and kind of realize what that does for a lot of us. That, you know, I know when I go like tinker with my guns in my shop and change out optics and holsters and dry fire and all that stuff, like it very much clears my head, and that's something I really enjoy to do, and I'm not even pulling the trigger, you know. So that is part of the fun of owning.
Exactly. And here's the thing. I'm kind of looking at the chat out of the corner of my eye, guys, and writing down some notes. Still hearing people talking about customer service. So let me go first. I have been into Taurus right around the time I got into Taurus, right around the time that you guys were transitioning from your USA division being in Miami, Florida, up north there to Bainbridge, Georgia, right?
Yep.
And here's what I was told by somebody at Taurus previously. They said, look, like real estate's like kind of crazy in like the Miami area, and it's like physically hard to get like a bigger building. We're moving out in the country, getting more space. You guys built this huge facility, and they said, we are going to hire a lot more customer service reps. It's going to be our highest priority. And I had an issue where I bought a from Grab a Gun. I ended up buying a G3C Toro, and it was supposed to come with 3 mags. I only got 2. So I called the place I bought it from first. I said, I'm missing a mag. Is it you that wants to take care of me, or should I call Taurus? He says, well, call Taurus, see if they'll help you out. He goes, but we'll take care of you. So I'm like, okay. So I called both. Well, I get on the phone with Taurus. A lady answered the phone within like seconds. I didn't even have to hold. Told her what the problem was. I said, I'm missing 1 mag. There's no way for me to prove a negative, but she believed me, and I was telling the truth. Taurus sent me out a mag. I called Grab a Gun and said, thank you very much. Taurus took care of it. They went like way over the top and said, no, dude, we already had one out to you already. So I got 4 mags out of it, but that's just because Grab a Gun was being really cool. So
yeah,
I've literally called Taurus, and I did not tell them I was 2AE to you. My personal experience was like really, really good. So
yeah.
What do you want to say about your customer service recently?
That's one thing. So one of my first deals here was, and I told Brett this, I was like, there's a lot of changes happening on at Taurus, but I think we're going to look up one day and be there where we have very top-notch everything, and realize like, damn, how did we get here? And so I've been kind of documenting a lot of that stuff. So if you follow Taurus on our website or any of our social media, you've been seeing like a lot of content videos and a new bullfighter journal. So we've been posting about every other day on this bullfighter journal. And one of the series on there is called Rise of the Bull. And what that is basically a behind the scenes look at the changes that are happening at Taurus and interviews with specific individuals that are making those changes. And the first episode that we launched with Alejandro is our repair manager. And we talk about a lot of what was going on with customer service and those transitions on what happened and when they decided to like, hey, we need to really increase this. And when we looked at it, we just finished up a lot of our national sales meetings and stuff like that, where customer service came in, and we analyzed those numbers quite a bit. And one of the key things that I looked at was if you look at 2019, 2020, Taurus is about double the amount of guns that they ship out in the market. They gained a lot of market share. But if you look at the number of guns that came in 2019, which, like I said, was half of what we're shipping out now, we've cut the number of guns that come into customer service in half. So we're shipping out twice as many guns, but half the amount of guns are coming back in for like repair and stuff. So you're seeing that transition of the quality control efforts, the things beforehand. That way you don't have to use customer service. That's the goal, right?
Yes.
And, but now we're tracking a lot of the analytics on, how many rings does it take? How long does a person sit on hold? Most of the guns now that we're looking at that come in for repair, I can't remember the exact, but we're in the high 80 percentile range of guns that come in, and it is about a 24 to 48 hour turnaround on getting back out to you after repair. So I think they're making the right steps. Now, you got to keep in mind, customer service is the absolute hardest job at any company, no matter what industry you're in, right? Because especially with guns, we're very passionate people when we own guns, And,
yes.
And two, like when your carry gun goes down or something, like you're not going to be very happy. And guns are, and I always laugh at this, I think guns are like the only product out there that people buy and expect it to never malfunction for the entirety of their lifetime. Like,
you're right, though.
I wish we would do that with TVs, that go out every freaking 2 years, But yeah, that's part of it. We understand that fact, and we've got the people that understand that fact now in repair and customer service. That I asked Alejandro, man. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, he carries every single day, and he shoots a lot and works on that. And he's like, man, it annoys me if like I have a malfunction or if I had to send my gun off and wait 6 weeks. Nobody wants to do that. And so it was like one of them realization moments, and I think they are. It's never perfect. We're never going to say that we're perfect, so we'll always keep improving. But I think, from my experience in this industry, I think Taurus is really honestly in the top on the customer service side right now. It's quite impressive the amount of guns that they produce and what's actually coming in and how quick that turnaround time is. Because you got to remember, like, Taurus is one of the number one guns produced in the world, on getting guns out the door. And if you look at guns that come in for service, a lot of times companies are like, yeah, we're 1%, or whatever. Yeah, 1% for another company ain't that many, but 1% for Taurus, because we make so many guns, is a bigger number. So it's something to keep in mind there that, but we're working, like I said, behind the scenes. If we insert that stuff on QC, product development, and make sure the products are good from the beginning, we don't have to worry about it too much.
And I think that's really cool of you that you kind of sat there and admitted, and you said, yeah, some of that probably was well-deserved in the past. Mm-hmm. And I've tried to do it. I just want to give people the truth on this channel and my personal experiences. If something happened with Taurus where they called customer service in, 2006, and they kept their gun for 6-7 weeks, yeah, that does suck.
It does, completely.
But you didn't work there then. Probably hardly anybody that works there now worked there then. I know some people did, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yep.
And you guys are actually aware of that, and you're saying, no, there's some stuff, but now it sounds like you're really kicking it into like kind of double timing it to do even better than what most companies are, to really get stuff on a new track going forward. Is that kind of right?
Yep, exactly. I think, like I said, we've realized it. I think when you get the people behind the scenes, that are actually running this stuff on what to do, like, they're all shooters, and I was very surprised when I came on board, because like my outside perception was like, man, there's not a whole lot of shooters, there. And then once I got in there, I started, realizing there's a lot of guys behind the scenes that now I'm very good friends with, and we shoot a lot. And, Nick Chan was out there, and Peter Alvarez, who is in customer service. And there's a lot of, we all shoot, so it's
and I own guns from the company that you most recently worked for too, before Taurus, and they're good, and I own lots of companies' guns. But when I do my unboxing and initial review, and I say, guys, look, I'm not rich, I cut grass for a living, I was putting a little picket fence up today right before this started. But even if I was Donald Trump, if I was a billionaire, and I could literally go in there and say, here's my hand, make a gun that fits my hand, the whole G2C, G3 series, and also the GX4 series, it literally feels like someone made the gun just for me. So it's like, dude. So I'm finding myself in a spot where I do own guns that cost more than the Taurus is, but I just keep gravitating back to them for range time because they're so uncomfortable,
And my key thing was, like I said, I'm a shooter, and like I got to the point now in my career, like I didn't really care what they cost. I've got all kinds of crazy expensive guns too, and but I got to the point now with my pistols. I shot so much pistols, I really don't care what was in it, and I needed more functionality standpoints that I was leaning on. And when I looked at a Taurus, I realized I need a gun. I like having 3 guns for my array on everyday carry style. So, and what I mean by that is, like, I have my 80% gun that I carry most days, right, with my more normal clothes, which is I carry the G3 Tactical with weapon light.
I like that one.
I carry a big gun, right? But there's times when I want to go high capacity, but a lot more low key, especially when I'm in like thin shirts or polos or anything like that. And so I run the micro compact, the GX4 XL now for that one. But I needed the deep concealment aspect of, tucked in shirts and in business settings a lot of times, and don't need to show. And so I carry the executive grade 856 on a Filster Enigma rig, which there'll be a video coming out here pretty soon on how to carry with a tucked in shirt that we did with that rig. And it's pretty crazy how well you can hide that. And when I look at those 3 guns, You look at what you can buy those guns at. You got the executive grade at 600, the G3 tactical at 500 maybe, and then a GX4 for another $4 bills. You know, you're well under, and those are top of the line across our board, right?
And the price is cheaper than that in real life when these places
Exactly.
crank out good sales too.
Yep, and I mean I'm under $1,500 total for literally a perfect gun for every situation. Instead of going out and spending $1,500 on a gun that does everything okay, I got 3 guns that do their jobs very excellent. You know, so it's been my thing, and like I said, I have all kinds of crazy guns over here, and I carry a Taurus every single day, truthfully. And that's one thing in our industry you'll notice, like people that actually work for companies half the time do not carry the guns that they make, which is pretty wild to me.
Look, guys, I go to these different events. I'm going to another one here this fall, and I see all kinds of stuff I don't want to tell you guys, stuff you would want to see, something you wouldn't want to see. I saw Cody shooting at the Taurus booth at the gathering, and I saw that he was carrying, and he'd only been there right away, but he was like, it seemed like you were instantly falling in love with him right there in March down there in South Carolina, right?
Yeah, I had to put old Nick Chan in his place. You know, he was talking some mess on how fast he was. So, and I was a new guy. So, yeah, we had fun, you know, and that's the point of it. And like I said, in the whole process of me coming on board with Taurus, you know, I had to make sure it was real. So I shot a Taurus and carried it for a while before I even came on board to make sure that, you know, it was a gun that I believed in personally, because I don't want to go out there and market guns and convince people to buy things that I personally do not believe in. So it's my name attached to it too. So I have a set of standards, and like I said, they passed that standard, and here I am. So
yeah. And I have a few viewers' questions here I wanted to throw out there.
Yeah, let's hit them, man.
Thanks for the super chat, Bill. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
this is a common one I get. Any chance for Toro slides for the G2C?
Probably not. You're going to see us really focus in on G3C and push that forward. So you'll see that G2C really kind of staying where it's at. And that's some of the benefits of what that G3 system is getting that Toro, you know, and that little bit of a price bump or whatever. So,
and that makes sense to me from my standpoint, because in my opinion, a company can only keep coming out with so many new products, and then they kind of have to keep some of their older products kind of just status quo. Because if you just keep making too many things for the older guns, it's hard to have the resources to come out with new stuff. It's always a balance, right?
Yeah, and it's finding that right balance. But, you know, that was the purpose of the G3C launch, was to really like upgrade on the G2C, but kind of keeping that price point. You get one extra mag. You get the Glock sight cuts, which is a very handy thing to have when you're looking for suppressor height sights for co-witness on your red dots when you run into that Toro system. So
a vastly improved trigger. That's a big deal for me.
Yep.
Here's the deal, guys. I know why you don't want to give up your G2Cs. I'm not getting rid of mine either. I do think, though, the G3C is a better gun, and I would like to see you guys going more forward along the GX4 lines of the semi-autos and continue with that G3 family. But I'm going to go in complete circles, though. I get it why my friend Bill and so many people, they're not wanting to get rid of their G2C yet. I do get that.
Yeah. Oh, and like I said, I am a big proponent of like, hey, if you've got it, man, I don't get into debt and don't go out there and buy all these new guns. If build your skills is what I'm saying here, you know, and work on that. A good holster. Holsters are the things that you end up buying 50 of, trying to find the right fit. You know, if you like the gun, let's shoot it and let's run it. You know,
let's get there and shoot it.
Like,
yeah.
If you're looking at a new one, like I said, look at different platforms or different families to fit specific needs, like a revolver for deep concealment, or, you know, a micro compact for high capacity smallness, or a full size, like a G3 tactical as a suppressor host. So there's other things to fit your needs better that I think you can go forward with.
And that's where I come and play, trying to help all you guys out there. New products come. I have I've done a little bit of teasers on it with a short video, but I have one of your 605 Defenders in 357 Magnum. I'm getting ready to do a full review on.
Yeah.
So
I got one I carry in a Hill People Gear chest rig when I hike and hunt and stuff. So
yeah, so there's tons of guns out there, and that's why I come. Like, I'll do a video, for example. I did the G3X. There was a number of people that said, dude, that's actually what I've been wanting. Bingo. Other guys said, but I want the opposite. Well,
Yep.
sometimes with marketing, I knew stuff because I was talking to Taurus that was going to be coming out like 6 months later. So I just had to sit there and go, I said,
Yeah.
well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Then they said, I want the opposite. I want the long slide with the short grip. Then the G3 XL came out. Then there were a bunch of guys that's like, that's my jam. And they jumped right on that one. So,
Yep. And it's all about, and I'll talk about this if y'all watched some of the GX4 videos that we did for the XL launch a couple weeks ago, last week. When we look at that, there's different body types for concealment. And I talked something about the keel principle when we launched the GX4 XL.
I saw that video. Awesome video.
And that's something when you look at, and people always ask like, well, you're bashing another one. I'm like, no, I mean, it really depends on where you're carrying and your body type too. Because what we're trying to do is like, if you can have that gun where you can just drop it in a standard holster and it conceals better, that's what you want, right? And so that's why there's different guns for different choices. You know, it's really what's going to fit you best. But that was one of my goals here, was to really like educate. We knew like Taurus, there's a lot of new shooters that come into it. And a lot of us, you know, especially like Casey Asubio with Jesse Harrison and all of us, like we've been in it for a while. We've shot a lot. We want to take that knowledge and really give it to you, so you're not wasting money on buying a box of holsters or, you know, buying guns and realizing that's not the one you wanted and trying to sell it, which is not always a fun part, you know, and getting a new one. Like, you know, we want to make sure we try to get the information out there as quick as possible to help people in their purchases.
And I'm trying my hardest with that too. A couple more real quick questions, and I got a whole list here. I better start going quick here. I could talk about Tauruses for hours, but I promised I wouldn't keep you longer than an hour. 13 round GX4 mags. They're like impossible to find on Shop Taurus as well as anywhere. Is there like a big issue or?
So if you followed anything over the last couple of years and where mags come from, you know, Metgar makes a lot of the mags for everybody, and
which is good.
They are top of the line mags, right? They're going to last you a lifetime. And the problem is when everybody gets it, and then there's a crazy, increase in demand for magazines, it's hard to fill that need. So, you know, and what happened with us on the 13 round magazines is it's actually an exclusive on our web store. But with the GX4 XL, we wanted to have that 13 round magazine in there. So we had to pull a lot to be able to increase the manufacturing on the XL side of it. So that's why you should see those. They're not too bad to be able to get in. So they should be coming in here pretty soon and hitting the online store. So if you're not on that Taurus newsletter, I swear to you, like that's where we're telling everybody first. So make sure you register there. And that's, the problem is like you got this like drop culture mentality right now still with a lot of the magazines, and hard to get one. So as soon as we send it out on a newsletter, a lot of the times they're sold out before it even reaches the end of the newsletter list. It's wild.
The world has still not gotten back to normal. Let's just say from the flu and all that. It's still another quick thing that guys have been asking about in the chat and been asking me in comments. The G3 Toro slide, the full size, has been quite available, but they haven't seen the G3C Toro slide lately on the website. So I assume you're aware of that too, right?
Yeah, and I'll check into that and see when we have a batch of those coming in. So
people are getting eager for those.
Nice.
All right, couple calibers here. And some stuff allegedly got leaked from Brazil and this, and I don't know. I don't know what happens in Brazil or what's true or not. So there's some stuff I know you might not be able to talk about, and that's fine. But if you can, I'll just give this to you as input. People are under the impression that there is gonna be, and if there's not, they want it really bad, a TH 10 millimeter.
Oh,
Have you heard talk about something like this anywhere online?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, and like I said, I think our product development process, we're trying to identify those things. And I think the 10 millimeter is a very popular caliber right now that we're looking into. We don't have a launch schedule for anything like that right now, but that's something that's really cool about Taurus is we're able to, like I said, adapt and play that game pretty quickly. So I can guarantee you from my end and a lot of people's end on the inside, like we want a 10 millimeter too. So we're pushing for it. And I would say I'd hope to see it pretty soon.
So people want a 10 millimeter, and particularly, although I've heard a lot of different requests, people want it all. You know how it is with guns.
Yeah.
Well, look at here. I mean, my Taurus tower. So I'm not making fun of people who want it all with, okay. So it seems like with the 10 millimeter, yes, they want a 10 millimeter Taurus really bad. Check. But it seems like they're kind of more wanting it in the TH. And a lot of guys have been asking me just generally, like maybe a TH 10 millimeter. They've talked and asked about a TH 45. A lot of 45 guys out there. So I guess that's two calibers that tons of people are really, really hitting me up on. And then they still like the TH series. They're hoping you guys aren't going to get rid of that hammer fire line.
No, I don't think so. And I think it's going to be a little bit of the opposite. You know, that's one of those lines that, you know, I've identified and talked with them. Like there's a lot of potential in that line. I think there's a lot of room for growth in that line also. It is a really cool gun, and it's one I didn't really know much about before I came on board here. And like I said, I think it's got a lot of room to grow. So.
Yeah, there's over 100 people in the chat, 130 something. Guys, I have an executive from Taurus in front of me. I'm pushing him as hard as I can. So more sternly, Cody, they want a 45 and a 10. And
got it, man. I'll make it happen. All right.
This is good, though. These guys are excited. Okay, I wanted a couple more real quick ones, and then I want to talk about the GX4 and GXL after that.
Yeah.
Revolvers. I'm not what's considered a revolver guy, but I do have revolvers, you know, and I do like them. So I've done a review before on my Taurus Model 85 that I know you guys have kind of transitioned to the 856. Bought one of those. I have a review coming out, and then I'm going to be reviewing the 605 357 Magnum Defender, right?
Yeah.
You guys will see more on my channel soon. I don't have a lot to say about it yet because I'm just in the process of getting used to it, and then I'll review it. My friend Mateo, he's the moderator here in the chat tonight. He would love to see if you guys are going to look into a 350 Legend revolver.
Oh yeah. I mean that'd
be huge.
Yeah, especially in that Midwest area, you know, and Michigan and stuff like that. I know it's a really popular caliber up there. So.
And I'm in Michigan here, so.
There you go.
The other thing is a lot of people are talking about the 327 Magnum.
Yeah.
And you guys do have a little bit with that, but the little bit of constructive criticism I had for that, and this is input from quite a few viewers, and I'm 357 Magnum out of a 2-inch barrel. It's a lot of blast, but you're not really getting the legs out of that powder column of that Magnum cartridge. So I was asked to suggest maybe a 3-inch or, you know, something to be more of a defender length. A lot of guys are still asking about the 327 Magnum, hoping that you will maybe expand a little bit longer barrels where they can get kind of that equivalency of 9mm plus P plus ish kind of power out of it, you know?
Yeah. And I think the 327 is one of those kind of niche calibers that we looked at, and it's a funny deal. I've dove in quite a bit into that, and I've talked to a lot of the revolver experts out there, the Chuck Haggards and Caleb Giddings, and a lot of those guys that are out there that are real revolver experts. And every time I'd ask them like, what's their preferred, you know, carry revolver, every one of them said a 327. And, you know, they like them more on the short side, on the 2-inch side because of the capabilities of that. But I think when you look at the popularity of that caliber, I think there's a lot of room for growth on the 327 line for Taurus. And I think, you know, hammer options and barrel length options, it's proven that 3-inch barrel is very popular. You know, when you look at our Defender line, you look at the executive grade line, that's popular, you know. So, yeah, I think you'll see that. But, you know, looking at the 327 in general, you know, we just launched that one this year. So it's really been a kind of a play for us to see the popularity. You know, it's hard to judge a lot of these new calibers that come out. It's like, is it going to stick? You know, so, you know, you don't want to waste a lot of engineering time. That stuff costs a lot of money to create, even if it is just a 1-inch longer barrel. There's a lot of testing and protocols that take months of development to do. You know, we want to make sure that that's a capable platform, but I think it's proven itself pretty well in my own opinion there. So
somebody said we need a Taurus 2A EDU edition.
Nice. There we go. I mean, you sell enough of them, you get some pre-buys on this, and we'll make that happen.
All right. I don't know if I'm a big enough channel to get a big enough pre-buy, but I am thinking about getting a small little fiber desktop laser. I could probably laser etch one myself for the channel.
There you
go. So you guys might actually see one on this channel, don't? Another thing that I thought was pretty cool, and I've gotten quite a bit of feedback over the last year, GX4. People are wondering if it'd be hard, or if you guys have thought about it, scaling it into a 380, getting an extra round or two, because people are still talking about 380.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the 380, there's a couple options. I think we do need a 380 personally on the product roadmap, because if you look at we don't have anything really outside of a revolver. That's
The Spectrum I haven't really seen much of. I don't even know if you're making it anymore, but I haven't seen them.
No, it's been phasing out there. So that's one of those things. I think it's a hot topic around us here at the office, is making sure we get something right. And I think there's a couple of those caliber options. And I think when you look at like the 30 super carries, put a lot of pressure on the 380 rounds now of that capacity and the power. So it's kind of monitoring a little bit on the success of that caliber too. So, but I think I'm definitely right. I think people, you see like what's needed on the product roadmap, right? And what needs to be filled out a little bit. So, but yeah, I think that's an excellent choice there. The GX4 is a phenomenal gun that could really host that very well.
And I want to get into the GX4 in 1 second here, but one more that I'm getting a ton in the chat tonight, and all I have to tell you guys is this: they introduced it in SHOT Show a few years ago. Never seen it since. The famous or elusive AR-15 Taurus, 5.56. Are you familiar?
Yeah, so that one that's up here on that wall up there is actually one of the lowers that was able to snag when I got on there. It's all custom built around it, but yeah, I mean it's a tough one for Taurus. We just got back from Brazil, and there's a ton of them down there. I put my hands on a lot of cool guns on that T4 line down there, and I think they do them really well. But it's a tough market here in the U.S. It's very saturated, if you know, and but we've been exploring quite a bit of options. It just opens up a lot of different boats for us when we start looking at the AR platform and what we want to get into as a brand moving forward too. So I think that's something that we all, like I said, we all like that. We're all building it out here and taking them out and shooting quite a bit. But personally, but I think there's, like you said, when we talk about 10 mil, 45, and a lot of the other stuff, we want to make sure we get our flagship lines kind of built out a little bit before we try to hop in and start competing with the AR-15 market,
And some of you guys might get mad at me in the chat for this, but that's fine. You'll still like me, and you'll still be back tomorrow. But hold on. Look, if I wanted to throw in my 2 cents, yes, of course. If Taurus had an AR-15 and it was available in the U.S., of course I'd get one. I would want one. But at the same time, there's something called Section 922R of the Gun Control Act. And if they're making it in Brazil, it can have no more than 10 foreign parts to get shipped over here. It would be considered an assault rifle. Yep. There's lots of logistic stuff with bringing long guns in that handguns are not subject to, okay?
We have to make it in Bainbridge, so...
And then, quite frankly, there's competitors that I know you guys are friends with. So we were at our friends event down there at PSA. Jamin, Josiah, awesome people, and you just look at like what PSA is doing in particular. And I always love to shout them out because they're awesome people. You just look at how they're cranking out ARs that are quality, super affordable in South Carolina. It's a very tough market.
Oh yeah,
just to start importing into and competing with, right?
It's probably one of the most competitive markets in there. And you look at a lot of brands across the board and each price gap that's filled, and where people fall into. So in Taurus, like I said, and our name and where we sit right now, I don't think we're ready, but I think here in the U.S. market, of course, like they're freaking quality guns. They're awesome, but, when you look at what they're doing, they're already got, LE contracts and everything down in Brazil. People are running them in duty situations. They're proven it's good, but we got to build that brand up here in the U.S. and get people on that thought train that we are a gun that can be duty grade.
So I would hope one day you get one in, but if you want, in my opinion, just focus harder than ever before on your bread and butter that you guys are awesome at, and don't drop the ball at that at the expense of spreading yourself too thin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we want to do is, like I said, making sure we follow the roadmap for what we believe in here. So, but I would say keep a ticker out on the old gun broker, and for that T4 series, there's one that pops up every now and then. I actually bid
barely now and then, yeah.
There was one that popped up about 2 months ago on there for a good price, so you may be able to snag one.
Dude, I saw one once, and I needed like new tires for my trailer of all things, something stupid. And I'm like, well, maybe next time. And then like it's months and months later, but yeah.
My thing was I literally just wanted the lower because, like, I've got LaRue barrel and all kinds of stuff up there on that one. And I had all the parts ready. I was like, man, I want to buy that whole gun just for the lower,
What I want to talk about real quick, we only have a few minutes, and this is going to lead into the newest release that I was able to help you guys launch.
Yeah.
The GX4 and the new XL.
Yep.
Now, when I first got my hands on one, okay, I knew about it a little bit before it came out, which that's good, guys. That means I can get it to you like at midnight on launch day, right? So I opened that thing up, and I'm like, dude, this is literally an all new gun. Like, it's not just a different, like, edition of like a G2C, G3, G3C. Like from start to finish, you guys literally built that thing like from scratch. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool. You look at it; it is an extension off the GX4 family in the standard line.
No, I'm saying the original GX4. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, the GX4.
The original GX4.
That was from the ground up. That was a very good project from the ground up that Taurus was able to complete. So they have some very impressive engineers. When we look at them in the U.S. here with Olivier and George and his team, they're here in the States. And then if you look at who's going on, the engineers down in Brazil, I was incredibly impressed. And had a lot of opportunity. It was awesome to see. Like I had a lot of ideas, and I come in there and I was talking like compensators and all this stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, they knew everything I was talking about," which was good for me because I didn't have to explain everything.
So the GX4, you guys come out with that. Now, keep in mind, guys, like it's both. Like I still love the G3 series right here. I love the new G3 Tactical that just came out. I'm gonna have more range footage with that soon. So like this isn't like one versus the other, but I look at them as two separate things because the GX4. It's got that polished stainless steel chassis in there. It's smooth as silk, adds tons of rigidity. And when you shoot that little thing, and I'm still talking about the regular GX4 right now, when you shoot that little thing, it doesn't feel like you're shooting a pocket gun, like in a good way.
Yeah, and that was a key thing. When you look at the micro compact series, and personally, like before I was never really a fan of micro compacts.
I wasn't either.
I hold myself to performance standards, and I didn't see the concealment factor that much of a benefit to me, especially when I saw the sheer drop off in my performance out on the range. And when I talk about performance, I talk about like accuracy downrange with time attached to that. So, I was to get the same accuracy, I was having to slow down quite a bit to get that gun to perform in that type of accuracy standard. And so I came on board with Taurus, and I got the GX4, and I found the large back strap on that gun helped me so much, and I actually enjoyed shooting it enough to put it in my rotation as a carry gun because I was able to get so much more offhand support on that gun, killing the recoil. I was just eliminated most of the recoil as soon as I was able to get that offhand support on there real well, and so it's been a key point to me. My problem was always, and we'll lead into this a little bit, was a short slide because my body type, I carry appendix, which I need length on the gun to be able to pull that thing back in my body for the keel principle. So they always printed more for me because, they were wanting to tip out away from my belt. I'd always have to carry them strong side, which then I dropped off on my draw to first shot times. And so now, with this new one we got, it really fit my need perfect. It was a short frame, long slide. I was pretty happy with that one.
Perfect transition. You actually did it for me. So the GX4, guys, if you've never shot it, just try it out. I'm not trying to sell you a Taurus. I don't work for Taurus. I could care less, but try one out if you literally think that all pocket guns suck, because there are some with terrible trigger slap. There's some that just feel like this little bucking rocket ship. Borrow one from a friend. Go to a range that rents guns. It's like really, really smooth. Then I shot the GX4 XL, and you guys are going to see, I'm giving you a little teaser right now, but you're going to see my video any day now. And I shot that. And as much as I loved shooting the regular GX4, I'm just plinking away and I'm like, whoa, like you guys don't see me on camera. Like it's noticeably even smoother than the GX4. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one thing I said when I went out and actually shot it and kind of measured it. I was shooting that gun really well with that long slide, and what that does for your recoil impulse is because it's going to slow that recoil impulse down a little bit. It allowed me to really kind of track that dot. I run a red dot on everything, so I was able to track that dot really well and good enough where I actually went out and shot a USPSA match with it. I shot 2 guns that day. I shot G3 Tactical and Carry Optics as my main gun, but I wanted to get some more rounds downrange with the GX4 XL before we launched it. So I went ahead and I carried the GX4 XL appendix and shot it in open division, which, if you know, those are very expensive $3,000 guns that are compensated and all that stuff.
Anything you want.
Yeah, and I shot 80% of the division winner that day with a micro compact. So, I mean, it kind of shows you like what the performance level is on that gun. It's like you're not getting, honestly, like if you told me I could conceal that gun that easy and it only costs that much, and you want to get 20% better, you got to pay $3,000 and you can't conceal it. Like it's a big drop off for me. Right. So I see a lot of benefit on that GX4 XL series of being able to be a little bit better of a jack of all trades. You know, if you're looking at a kind of a one gun and hides so well, and then there's laser light options, you know, for home defense and things like that. So it's a good little gun. I was really impressed with it at the end of that day, and all the people in my squad were super impressed with it too. They couldn't believe like what that gun was doing. Not a single hiccup. We shot 8 stages that day. All of those stages averaged, you know, anywhere from 18 to 30 rounds per stage, reloads, all that stuff. So it performed well.
And this is what's awesome, guys. I mean, do you hear what you're hearing right now? This is an executive you're hanging out with at Taurus. And this is like a compliment, dude. You don't even look like an executive. You're not talking like an executive. I think it's, you know what I'm saying? Well, no, you think of like, ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
right here, I am an executive from Taurus. Where's my chauffeur with my limousine? Like, you're actually out there, and it was really cool to hang out with you this spring. You were out there just nailing it on that range, and now you're talking about actually competing with these guns. And what do you guys think in the chat? That's pretty cool. Like, you guys are actually competitive shooters working within Taurus, out there running these guns. And you said it was actually like you were like a top level performer. Is that a fair way to describe it?
I would say I'm mid, man. Those competitive guys, it's hard because when you go shoot with Jesse Harrison and Casey Subio, they really put you in your place, But
well, maybe not elite, but you're a lot better shooter than me. Let's just say, for example. So,
man, we're just have to hit the range together again. So.
I do want to hit the range with you soon. I'm going to show him up, guys. Trust me.
Get it. Love it. I love it.
But no, that's cool. Seeing you having fun with these guns. And guys, look, you're going to see my follow-up. My follow-up to my initial review of the XL. I'm going to show you at the range. You're going to see I've got a great big smile on my face. Look, just adding 0.7 inches extra. You say that's just 0.7 inches. No, there's a lot to that. It's an extra couple ounces of weight on the end of the gun. That's going to help with muzzle flip. Having that longer barrel, that's going to change what's called the pressure curve, the pressure spike, and it's going to mellow out that slide where it's not going to be quite as violent. And you're also going to get some more terminal performance in ballistics.
That's a big thing with 9mm too in the drop off. I mean, that little bit goes a long way with the 9mm round. That was a problem.
Yes.
With a lot of those shorter fronts. Sorry, I was laughing at one of the comments down there about DLD after dark down there. So, that one got me a laugh. Good one there.
Oh, it's a lively chat, dude. It's hard to keep up with these guys. There's like 150 people watching as we're getting ready to wind up. But I'll go through all the chat afterwards, guys, and make another little short list. I've got Cody's email. But no, I'm going to talk about that, guys. Some of the better exterior ballistics on that bullet by getting it up to, you get up to 3.7. You're getting closer to duty length, which is 4.5 inches, and you're kind of getting there.
And, you look at some duty guns now, they're getting down. You look at, some of the past companies I worked with, they're getting down to a 3.5 inch barrel that's getting to operate. Especially, too, it's going to give you some room for like a compensator or something like that when you look at these new comps that are coming out. So,
and 3.8's been standard for a while. Couple more quick super chats. Gus had sent you a bunch of hearts earlier saying how much that they love their Taurus collection and just said Taurus rocks.
Awesome.
So that's awesome.
We appreciate everything.
My friend Jesse Meeks, thanks for the super chat, man. He said he can't stick around, but Taurus has really improved in the last 10 years. He has a TX22, G2S, G2C, G3, GX4. It's nearly as good as his Hellcat at 70% of the cost.
Yeah, I would agree it's better than the Hellcat when you get out there and shoot it on the range.
I agree with that.
I am a very, like I said, a utilitarian when it comes to guns, and that is a benefit when you look at it. So I've got some big new guys that I've got on board shooting the GX4, and like literally called me and was like, "Dude, you've got this gun so underpriced." They're like, "This gun is way underpriced. Why don't y'all charge more for it?" I've heard that probably 10 or 12 times because, like I said, the people that I've worked with are training FBI, they're training, law enforcement agencies and stuff like that, and they never ever considered shooting a Taurus in their time. And they started shooting this GX4, and all of them are sold on it. Like they believe in it. And that's from unbiased opinions. So,
dude, of course you got big time people shooting your guns. I've got a video coming up soon shooting it, right?
Heck yeah, man, I love it.
One more real quick here, Jesse Meek. Thanks again, dude. I appreciate it, man. Okay, no, this is a question I have. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for reminding me of this, Jesse. He's got the 11 and 13 for the GX4. What about a 15? That'd be good, I think, if you guys could think of something there.
Yeah, I think that's something we're looking into, because the problem is when you go to that 15 round capacity, we're going to have to increase the actual tooling on the metal magazine itself. Because when we can look at those mag extensions, because you look at a lot of +5 extensions on like 15 round mags for duty guns and stuff like that. You make it work. A lot of times your spring pressures, you're having to change springs and stuff like that. And so from a manufacturer standpoint, we're going to do so much testing. It's preferably if we could just increase the length on that mag tube there, but it takes quite a bit of development for that stuff. But
I want to see you guys crushing. Look, guys, I'm going to get people mad at me for this, but I'll hang out with you guys tomorrow. We're still friends, okay? Shout out to all the SIG fans. I want to see you guys crush that SIG macro. I know where Jesse's coming with this. You put the XL with the 15 round. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And like I said, like in the future and what we're doing here is like we want to make sure that we're providing the same amount or more performance at Taurus price point range. So, and that's the stuff that scares people like SIG and a lot of these other companies, is because when we start getting up and we start beating them on performance and our customer service and all that, and we're well cheaper than them, that's a dangerous combination there. So
just keep hammering away at the quality, dude. We're just getting ready to wrap it up here. It's been about an hour. Kurt24, supporter of the channel, wanted to say he loves that you're a shooter and not just sitting behind a desk like most executives.
Well, I am at a stand-up desk, so I don't sit down too much. But
there you go. He's working at his desk right now, hanging out with us, right?
I will say you just never really get to shoot enough, though. You always feel like you're behind the desk too much. So
yes, unfortunately, you're behind the desk too. You're not just out on the range shooting, right?
I wish I was. I always told Brett I want to move my office to the range, and he would never let me because he knows I wouldn't get anything done.
I'll see what I can do. I'll try to see if I can.
I've got a range here at my house, so I get time to go shoot. I just get to walk across the street now. So
and Brett's a shooter too. I have that awesome Taurus magazine. You guys were generous enough to give me a stack of them at the gathering. I sent them out to like 30, 40 people. And there's a big article in there of Brett that was on a big like hunting trip showing a lot of the game and stuff, right?
He shoots competitively too. And we have some very fun times, all shooting against each other. And there's plenty of crap talk going on between all of us. We love it, man. So I've shot quite a few competitions with Brett.
Now, Brett's not watching this right now, so I can say this, but I was told by somebody at Taurus that was at the gathering event and at several of the other events, someone I know pretty well. He said you probably could outshoot Brett a little bit. So.
Oh, I know I can. I'll bring him into it all the time too, man.
Okay.
We love it though. We love it. So
I know you guys are good friends.
Yeah. So he missed out. We usually shoot a big 3-gun match every year up in Nebraska, and he had another meeting that popped up like a last minute and didn't get to come shoot it. So I got to wait a little while before we get back out on the range. So.
Oh, so you've got scorecards to literally prove it. So I don't even need to talk.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's
guys,
fun.
You have no idea. Wait till the gathering next year or one of these events. I am going to smoke this dude at the range. Okay.
Love it. Let's do it, man. I love to see people, and that was the cool thing about like I want to see our community like get better and better and better in shooting, and I think we have seen that over the recent years. But it's a cool process. I will say, like, if you want to hear some fun stuff, like the Taurus podcast, we did, myself and then Justin Porlier, who's the VP sales. He actually hired me. My first job into the actual manufacturing industry for guns. And Brett is on it too, and we've all been friends for 8 or 9 years now. So it was a pretty hilarious podcast. If you just want to hear some fun stuff of us screwing with each other,
I will check that out. And I think I'm just getting tons of comments in here. DLD After Dark, my friend just said, "Yes, sir, you're one of us." And
awesome.
People like that. That's what we want, dude. So I'm gonna leave you with this, man. Just keep coming up with like the cool stuff, without sacrificing the quality. Keep pounding on that customer service, because I think there's people out there that haven't bought a Taurus in the last several years, and a lot's changing there, right?
Yep.
And let's just keep having fun, man, because you guys just keep coming up with so much cool stuff. Taurus Legos, I'm starting to call it now.
Yeah.
And I'm just really, really looking forward to new stuff. So when you guys have the GX4 and 10 millimeter and 45, send it over to my place first.
All right. You got it, man.
An AR-15 and a 380, right?
You got it. There is a lot of, we've been working quite extensively on the product roadmap, and there is some cool stuff that we will be first to market on that no one's seen. And that's what we want to be doing, is really still pushing that innovation and effective innovation, right? Not gimmick innovation, things that make us being better shooters and really push the industry forward. So.
Okay. Thanks, man. Now, thank you, Band Talk. You're just getting a lot of praise in here, people liking the products, and this hour went by really quick. So maybe here in a month or two, when we get some time, maybe we should do a part 2, because we just talked about Taurus tonight, guys.
Yeah.
But that's the flagship brand. But then there's Rossi and Heritage that we still need to talk about another time.
I have some huge things coming for those two brands that I'm super excited about. My accent, if you can hear, like, yeah, I was made for Heritage, man. So
you sound like a Southern boy to me.
I'm a Texan, so I was excited. My degrees are in agriculture, actually. So I was happy to get back in that side of the business there with those. So yeah, let's definitely plan that and get it rolling, man.
I'd like to learn more about it too. I've done like 4 or 5 Heritage products reviews on them. I've never done a lever gun or a Rossi, so I'm curious about all of it as well, to be honest with you.
Fun, man. Well, I'm going to be hunting for like the next month, so maybe when I get back from my hunts, we can hop on here and go.
Yeah, we'll talk about lever guns and revolvers next if you guys want us to. Sound good?
I love it. That sounds perfect.
All right, man. I really appreciate you being on here. I kind of kept you over a couple minutes already. Is there anything you needed to say? Or?
That sounds good to me, man. No, I hope I don't want this to be a one-time thing. So let's just say I'll see you when I see you.
Dude, that hour went by so fast. I had a ton of fun, man.
Awesome. I did too, guys. I love talking guns, so that's no issue for me.
All right, I appreciate you being here, and we'll have you on again soon, man.
Guys, I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Have a good one, dude.
Thanks, guys.
All right, I'm just going to hang out for just a couple minutes, guys. I need to kind of wrap it up, too. I want to call my daughter and find out how her cross-country meet went. But, yeah, I had a lot of fun. Like, it literally... Like, this is pretty cool. And you guys know, like, how much of a big fanboy I am of Taurus, right? Like, well, obviously, okay? Way before Taurus knew who I was, way before Cody started working there. So, like, on one hand, I'm just sitting there, like, geeked. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm getting to, like, hang out with an executive from Taurus and stuff. And they're, like, probably my favorite gun company. I mean, there's a couple others out there, but... And then I just get talking to him, and he's just like such a cool dude. I'm like, whoa, an hour's gone by, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about the Rossi products and the Heritage products, which are also Taurus companies. But hopefully we got quite a bit accomplished. I literally got right in there, and, there's a lot to talk about, and an hour goes by quick, but I condensed by far the most common questions and suggestions that you guys have had, threw them right there in front of him. So he's a person that has quite a bit of pull within the company, so he'll at least be able to bring some of your input to the table, right? So hopefully that was pretty cool for all of you guys. And yeah, I'm just going to take a real quick peek at the chat. And I know some of you guys are into lever guns and revolvers. It's just, I was just having a good time with the conversation, talking about the Taurus end of things. And then one of the big things, and look, you guys tell me, I want you to tell me if it's not true for you, because Cody really, really wants to know, and he'll be the first to know. But their customer service has like really, really gotten a lot better. Because I hear stories in the past, and some of them weren't good. I mean, I've heard stories about all kinds of gun companies, to be quite fair. Some of them in the past, some currently. And that was the first time that he heard that story tonight live. When I had that issue where I was missing a magazine, okay? I called Taurus. I can't remember her first name, but a really nice lady answered the phone. There was not even like, please hold for the next available. I literally called Taurus customer service. This is a little over a year ago now. She said, thank you for calling Taurus or Taurus USA, whatever. She said, how may I help you? I was like, whoa, that's weird. I was almost like, hello. She's like, yes, sir. I'm like, oh, you're a real person? Yes. Because it's usually like a big, long recording. And it was painless, and it took minutes, and she sent me a new magazine, and then I called Grab a Gun back and said they're sending me the magazine. I appreciate you guys willing to help, but it's not needed. And their customer service was so awesome, they had already had it in the mail. So I have a lot of respect for both of those companies as far as customer service goes. So that was cool that he talked about that. That sounds like one of the number one focuses that they're working on right now. Hey, Mr. Big Kid, what's happening, man? Yeah, dude, I like the hat too. I got that last year from Taurus when I was down in Georgia. But I forgot while I had Cody on the air. I need a GX4 XL. So, I don't know. Dang it. He's the marketing director. And I forget to ask him if they have an XL hat. Because you got to try to look good. I mean, I know you guys come on here watching this channel for my good looks and stuff, right? So I got to look good with next time I review the XL, have the XL hat, right? Mr. Big Kid, if you're still there, DLD After Dark would like to have you on his show. He's a friend of mine. I don't know if you guys know each other, but I think you guys would have fun. That'd be a good collab. You guys might already know each other better than I think, but if you guys don't know each other, Mr. Big Kid DLD is a cool dude, and likewise, DLD, Mr. Big Kid's a cool dude. See, I told you it was cool. He said, you don't need a hat. You're naturally dapper. Dude, I get back from building this fence, right? And I'm just like, I was literally outside putting a picket fence up for a customer and just coming here and splash water on my face and got right on here. No, I had a lot of fun, guys. I'm just kind of looking at the chat here. I'm going to get off tonight because I need to take care of a few things. And I will be right back here tomorrow on YouTube for my normal Friday night stream. And then back over again this weekend on Locals for yet another stream. So if you guys aren't sick of me yet, we'll get to hang out a couple more times here in the next couple days. All right. My chat's deciding to freeze, so I can't really scroll up too much. Oh, there we go. But it looks like you guys were having a lot of fun in here, and I thought it was cool. If you're just joining, go back, watch the replay, and I'll have some follow-up content like I always do over on Locals. And I'll see you guys back here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time for another live stream. And I'll surprise you guys what that's going to be about tomorrow night. I will go back and read all the chats afterwards. So if you guys left me something, I wasn't trying to ignore you. It was just there's a lot more of you than me. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side and get another short list and forward some more info or questions on to Cody as I see in the chat. All right. You guys are cool. Good chat tonight. All right. Thanks for watching and have a good one.